Mike Farrell's tribute to Shelley Fabares, profoundly grateful 2 days after his wife's passing. Mike Farrell did what he'd apparently done from the very first night they properly reconnected. Decades earlier, he simply told the truth about how he felt, plainly and without pretense. On 24th August 2026, Farrell shared a heartfelt tribute to Shelley Fabares, his wife of more than 40 years, confirming her death publicly for the first time. This is his tribute, and the remarkable story of how their love story actually began. On Monday, 24th August, Mike Farrell took to Instagram to confirm the news, sharing a lengthy, deeply personal statement alongside Fabares' wider family. The post began simply, stating that it was with profound sadness that they announced the passing of their beloved Shelley Fabares, who had died on Saturday, 22nd August, in Los Angeles, surrounded by those who loved her. Farrell's tribute went on to describe Shelley as a devoted wife, a cherished stepmother, daughter, sister, niece, aunt, family member, and loyal friend, whose warmth, generosity, humour, and grace made a genuine, enduring difference in the lives of everyone who knew her. He closed the statement with words that captured both the depth of the loss and a real sense of gratitude. The family was heartbroken by her loss, he wrote, yet profoundly grateful for the years they'd shared with her, and for the joy, compassion, and love she'd brought to so many. He asked that the family's privacy be respected as they grieved, adding that they took comfort in knowing Shelley's work and the memories she'd created with those who loved her would continue to live on. Alongside the written statement, Farrell shared a simple, quiet image, 2 photos side by side, one from earlier in their relationship, one more recent, captioned with nothing more than a single red heart emoji. In an interview recorded just months before her death, on the Still Here Hollywood podcast, Farrell shared the story of how their romance had actually properly begun. A story far more specific and charming than most public accounts of their relationship had previously captured. Farrell recalled looking across a crowded room and recognizing a face. He walked over and told her, quite simply, that every time he saw her, he felt really good and a little calmer than he'd felt before. She responded warmly, telling him that was really nice of him to say. It was Fabares. The two had actually been introduced earlier that evening and had stood in line together, their names alphabetically close enough to place them side by side. As the evening ended, a cable car happened to come up the hill just as they were leaving. Farrell asked if she'd like to take a ride, and the two walked down together to Fisherman's Wharf, where he found himself, in his own words, spilling his guts about an experience he'd had in South America. The romance that followed didn't move quickly. The very next day, the two happened to be assigned the same car to ride to the airport together, but Fabares was seeing someone else at the time, and the relationship remained, for a while longer, simply a warm friendship. 3 months later, Farrell invited her, along with her boyfriend, to attend a talk he was giving. Fabares called back with a small telling request. Could she bring her sister instead? It's a small detail, but a meaningful one, hinting at where things were quietly heading long before either of them made it official. The two eventually married on 31st December 1984 at the Pacific Palisades home of Shelley's aunt, actress Nanette Fabre, beginning a marriage that would last more than 40 years, right up until her death. Beyond their romance, Farrell and Fabares built a life together that extended well past Hollywood. Farrell has spent decades in humanitarian and human rights work, serving as president of the advocacy group Death Penalty Focus, a commitment that reportedly inspired Fabares herself to become more involved in public and charitable causes over the years. Through her own health struggles, including a liver transplant following a diagnosis of autoimmune hepatitis, Farrell remained a steady, constant presence by her side, a partnership that clearly extended far beyond the glamour of their Hollywood careers. Mike Farrell's tribute to Shelley Fabares wasn't built around grand declarations. It was built around gratitude for the years they'd shared, for the small, ordinary moments that had somehow become extraordinary in hindsight, and for a love story that began with a passing glance across a crowded room and quietly grew into more than 4 decades of marriage. Sometimes the truest tributes are the simplest ones. A single red heart said everything that needed saying. If this tribute moved you, share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more heartfelt stories from the world of film and television.